And now to introduce Meg Whitman, please join me in welcoming legendary investor and founder and general partner of Bond Capital, Mary Meeker.
When I was asked to do this, I pulled up a roast I did for one of Meg's birthdays many years ago. I thought I'd have a lot of good material for this night, and unfortunately I didn't. Because if I did that, you would wonder why Meg is being honored tonight. So what I decided to do was tell Meg's story. So a brief CV. Meg Whitman, daughter, sister, student, wife, mother, CEO, founder, philanthropist, fisherwoman, skier, American, and friend. Learn, earn, serve. Meg's life in many ways follows the admirable mantra of John Shad. Dedicate 1/3 of one's life to learning, 1/3 to serving, 1/3 to earning, learning, earning, and then serving. That's a good order. Learn, then earn, and then serve. On the learning side, she went to high school at Cold Spring Harbor High School in Long Island, and you're going to tell me about her high school. This is really a good evening. You're going to be here for 3 hours. She then went to Princeton University, and she was among the fourth class of women to graduate from Princeton. Think about that. When Meg Whitman was in grade school, women were not allowed to go to Princeton University and many other schools. It's mind-boggling, and Meg is still pretty young. She went to school to become a doctor. She decided to marry a doctor instead. After taking a job selling ads for a school magazine, Meg learned success could be a direct consequence of how hard one worked. She switched from pre-med to economics. Meg lettered in lacrosse and squash at Princeton, lettered, not majored, in lacrosse and squash at Princeton, and learned sports helps teach courage, real-time decision-making, and that actions have consequences, but the sun still comes up tomorrow. Harvard Business School, she was the youngest member of her class, and she also was still a woman and the youngest member of her class at Harvard Business School. The next phase, earning and also still learning. She worked at Procter & Gamble, learned that it's key to listen. You don't always know what you don't know. Then worked at Bain in the Bay Area, learned the importance of training people and building teams. Then worked at the Walt Disney Company. It was mentored by Frank Wells, learned that great leadership matters, and he was the first person to say to her, "You're as smart as the guys. Speak up, take them on, and don't let them intimidate you." She went to Stride Wright and learned about holistic business operations, went to FTD and learned that you need to do your homework before becoming the CEO of a place like FTD. So do your homework before making commitments. FTD is doing fine, but this was a different time and place. I'm going down a rat hole. I'm going to go to Hasbro. She learned about international operations, manufacturing, distribution, and inventory management. And then she came to eBay in the Bay Area, then Hewlett-Packard, and now Quibi in Los Angeles, which we'll hear about in a minute. Next stage, serving and learning. Still, charitable giving focused on educational and environmental causes is a big focus of Meg and Griff's. She's been focused on the eBay Foundation, the Nature Conservancy, Princeton University, and she's a national chair of Teach for America. And then the ultimate effort to serve, she ran for governor of the state of California. And then she went to Hewlett-Packard. We can laugh about this now. So why is Meg Whitman a recipient of a Bay Area Business Hall of Fame honor? eBay, she was the CEO for 10 years, 1998 to 2008. When she joined, there were 30 people. When she left, there were 15,000 people. When she joined, eBay's revenue was $4 million. When she left, it was $8 billion. When she joined, the valuation was $25 million. Today, it's $150 billion. And when she was a child, women didn't go to Princeton. Meg and I would oftentimes be asked, what's it like to be a woman in business? And we'd sort of roll our eyes going, we're just trying to compete. We're just trying to do our jobs. And when I actually reflected on this, it made me think just how much she's accomplished in a market that was a little difficult in the early days. She grew eBay from an online marketplace that traded Pez dispensers and Beanie Babies to a leading global commerce platform. She managed absolute chaos in the middle of the nascent internet arena. She had the foresight to execute one of the most successful acquisitions of all time, the acquisition of PayPal, the payment platform, and she found and trained a replacement, John Donahoe. That's the ultimate job of any CEO, find and train your replacement, and she did it as well as anyone I've ever seen. Pierre Omidyar, the co-founder of eBay, said that after, and this is a great comment about Meg's leadership, a year after Meg joined eBay, the site was down for 22 hours. That's not the best thing about Meg's time at eBay. But it was an absolute disaster. What Meg decided, and it was really a key moment in her leadership, was that we were going to call every one of our top 10,000 sellers and apologize. She wanted to make sure the company internalized that we're here to serve real human beings, and when we make mistakes, there are consequences. Next stop in Silicon Valley in the Bay Area, Meg joined Hewlett-Packard in 2011. As you may recall, she was the fourth CEO in 4 years. She was deeply involved in the leadership of the company for 8 years. She took the role at HP because she thought the future of the company really mattered to the world and to Silicon Valley. Every business at Hewlett-Packard was challenged. The cost structure was unaffordable, and the innovation engine had stalled. It was a behemoth, $129 billion in revenue, 7 major business lines, 170 countries, 325,000 employees, plus 80,000 contractors. Meg led the largest business separation in history, separating HP into 2 Fortune 50 companies, and repositioned HP Enterprises, who's here tonight, into high-performance computers and cloud solutions. So with that said, understanding why Meg's here, a little context on Meg. Meg grew up as the youngest child of 3 siblings on Long Island. Her dad, Hal, was a financial advisor who served in World War II. Her mom, Margaret Cushing, was really Meg's hero. Meg the First, as I called her, and I'm sure others have as well. She's still Meg the First on my cell phone. Not that common when 90-year-olds at that point in time had cell phones, but she did. She was a firecracker who cared deeply for others, loved the outdoors, served as a volunteer airplane mechanic for the Red Cross in New Guinea during World War II for, I think, 4 years. In 1972, Meg the First was chosen to join a delegation of 10 American women to be part of a documentary about everyday American women visiting China. That was less than a year after Nixon and Kissinger's landmark trip to China, which focused on normalizing diplomatic relations with Mao's government. After returning from China, Meg the First told her 2 daughters, because of this trip, I've seen women doing all sorts of marvelous things. Realize you'll have the opportunity to do anything and should do whatever you want to do. Things that are worth doing will be hard, but if you don't try, you'll never know if you can do them. Meg the Second, our Meg, has always been a high IQ doer. She fell in love with business after selling those ads for Princeton Business Today, and has not lost her enthusiasm for putting points on the board. She loves to galvanize people and get things done, whether it's organizing responsibilities for a dinner party with friends, and the friends are still friends after the dinner party, or taking on the management of a 72-year-old enterprise like Hewlett-Packard. Meg was deliberate and lucky in the choice of her life partner, the wonderful Griff Harsh, who's here. And while not able to be in control of raising 2 boys, Griff and Will, as she would like, it's worked out really well. And one of her sons, Griff, is at the United Airlines table tonight. Meg is incapable of not being in go mode. Her accomplishments are legendary. They're also epic and inspirational. Thank you, Meg. Now here's a video which illustrates why Meg is a deserving Bay Area Business Hall of Famer.
By the late 1990s, Meg Whitman was a seasoned and highly accomplished business executive. She had parlayed a Princeton education and a Harvard Business School degree into a succession of important but quiet leadership roles at companies like Procter & Gamble, Bain, Disney, StrideRite, and FTD. And she certainly wasn't about to abandon the Play School toy lines she was managing in her latest leadership role at Hasbro.
I got a call from a headhunter about joining this no-name internet company called eBay, and I said, no, I'm not moving my husband and 2 boys 3,000 miles across the country. We're not doing this.
Still, Whitman traveled to Silicon Valley to meet with a headhunter, and the rest, as they say, is history. Whitman would soon take over as CEO of an internet auction site, whose 26-year-old founder, Pierre Omidyar, needed help growing the fledgling company.
What I saw, I have a model for consumer products, which is if there is real features and functionality, something that that product or service allows you to do that you could not do, combined with an emotional attachment to that brand, 1 + 1 can equal 10.
Over the next 10 years at the helm of eBay, Whitman transformed the company from a niche startup with 30 employees, $4 million in annual revenue, and 500,000 users into a Fortune 500 juggernaut with 15,000 employees, $8 billion in annual revenue, and more than 84 million users. But it wasn't her knowledge or understanding of technology that made her a successful leader at eBay.
Her real skill is using data to inform strategic decisions and bringing teams together, putting the right people in the right jobs at the right time.
Whitman's skill set would become even more important as she took on her next big business challenge.
We're on a journey to turn Hewlett-Packard around.
HP, the legendary Silicon Valley giant that once defined innovation, no longer knew how to innovate. Armed with a long track record of business success and some hard lessons she'd learned from a bruising run for California governor, Whitman embraced the challenge.
I would say the situation was reasonably dire. And so we set about really creating a plan to get ourselves back in health.
Whitman called on her legendary decisiveness and results-focused style and set about re-energizing a moribund corporate culture and making HP lean and agile.
It's been quite a turnaround journey. I mean, we went from almost $12 billion of debt on the operating company to a positive net cash on the operating company. We reignited the innovation engine to capitalize on the trends in the market. And we revamped, in many ways, the whole company.
2 years later, she split HP into 2 companies, and soon after that, handed the reins to a new leader.
We have a crisp strategy. We have the best product portfolio we've had in a long time. We've got real momentum in the marketplace. And Antonio and I have crafted that strategy together and felt like this was the time for a new generation of leaders to take charge of Hewlett-Packard Enterprise.
Even as she rose to the ranks of one of the most powerful and richest people on the planet, Whitman made time to give back. The philanthropic foundation she started in 2006 with her husband Griffith and seeded with eBay stock has supported a variety of environmental, conservation, and educational organizations. A $30 million contribution she and Griffith made to Princeton established a new undergraduate residential college. And she serves as chair of Teach for America, which helps expand educational opportunities for millions of disadvantaged children across the country. Never one to rest on her laurels, Whitman has launched into a new venture, a small startup that aims to disrupt the video streaming industry. If the past is any measure of what Whitman can accomplish, the rest, as they say, will make history. Again.
Congratulations, Meg, and welcome to the Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you, Mary, for those kind words. Mary and I have known each other since the fall of 1997 and have become fast friends. And it's truly an honor to be here tonight to receive this honor by the Bay Area Council. The Bay Area Council does such important work to make the Bay Area the best place to live and work. And I think we all should give a round of applause to the Bay Area Council for the remarkable work that they do. As I watched that video introduction, I was struck by 2 things. First, I can't believe that it was almost exactly 20 years ago where I packed up my young family in Boston and first came to the Bay Area as the CEO of eBay. And second, I can't believe how many different hairstyles I have had over the last 20 years. I have also been privileged to see the change that the Bay Area has undergone over the last 20 years. Whether it was leading eBay from a 30-employee business to 15,000 employees, or whether it was running for governor of California as a Republican in a Democrat state. Some people say I might have failed the IQ test. But
Running for governor made me a stronger individual and frankly made me a better CEO. And I got to see this state and the Bay Area as few other people have seen it. And we should just remember, for the challenges that we face in the Bay Area, which we do today, the challenges across California, this is one of the most remarkable places in the world to live. The innovative spirit, the way we tackle problems, the way we disrupt, the way we try to make the world a better place, I think we should all be proud to live here. And we really need to redouble our efforts to make this place continue to be the home of innovation and the spirit of making the world a better place. I also wanted to take a moment to just remember Bernard Tyson. Bernard, you know how you can tell the character of an individual? When I came to the Bay Area as the CEO of eBay, he made a point, he didn't know me, he made a point to call me, and he said, "Welcome to the Bay Area. If there's anything I can do to help you, don't hesitate to call." When I took on the job of the CEO of HP, he said, "I bet you've gotten a lot of calls today, and people have told you you're nuts." I don't think you're nuts. I think you're trying to save a great American institution. And I hope you'll come over and visit us at Kaiser Permanente, and anything we can do to be helpful, we will. And I think that is the sign of an incredible character of a remarkable individual. So I just wanted to say thank you again to Bernard. So again, thank you for this incredible honor. It's really a privilege to be here. I want to thank my husband, Griff Harsh, my two sons, Griff and Will, and we are the parents of a brand new grandson who is 5 months old. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.